Yes, I'm holding up the bat signal. That's right, because we have problems here in the DC universe. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Movie Guide Show. My name is Mike, and this is weekly show number 36. And I'm starting with sci-fi news today instead of Star Wars news because, holy crap, Warner Brothers announced yesterday that Matt Reeves has closed the deal to direct the Batman. The War of the Planet of the Apes director was rumored to be at the top of the list and then entered into negotiations to take on the helm, and we have confirmation that he has accepted the role as director for the new Batman movie. And what do I think about this? You know what? That's this week's news. And you're going to hear they've announced a lot more news coming out of Warner Brothers in just a minute. And what is that? That is misdirection. Because I don't think that he's going to be directing the Batman movie. Now, maybe he is. Maybe he'll stick to it. But we're looking at a long list of things, and we've talked about it before. The Flash has had 3 directors. Ben Affleck, who I really wanted to see his take on this movie. And I'm hearing all over the internet, people are excited about this announcement of Matt Reeves directing the Batman movie. The only thing of note to me that he has done is the War of the Planet of the Apes reboot. He took an existing franchise, made it better, they're all saying. Well, I don't know if he made it better. He made a good movie, but you're going to base it all on one great movie? Look, he did Cloverfield, which I am not a huge fan of. I love 10 Cloverfield Lane, but I'm not a huge fan of Cloverfield. I don't understand. All over the internet, everybody is saying, this is a great move. Matt Reeves is the next best thing to Ben Affleck. That's right. He's the next best thing. They already had the best thing. They had the writer, director, and star of one of the best movies ever to be on the screen, and he did it all. Yeah, you know what? I'm not that excited. Sorry, that's just me. Let's see if this even pans out, because we know how Warner Brothers loves to go through the directors. We heard a rumor earlier on in the week that he was in fights, and he's just negotiating, and he's fighting with Warner Brothers already. Now maybe that got out to the news. They caved because they couldn't handle any more bad press. But we're 2 years away from this movie coming out. Do you not think in 2 years something else could happen? Maybe I'm being a pessimist. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll make a great Batman movie. But I'm not holding my breath. And as part of that misdirection, here's our next story in sci-fi news. THR reported that the Lego Batman director Chris McKay is in negotiations to helm a Nightwing movie for DC Films. The film, based on the character of Dick Grayson, best known as Robin, and a member of the Batman family, will be written by the accountants Bill Dubick. In the comics, Nightwing was the original Robin with his alter ego Dick Grayson, the youngest member of a family of acrobats. He later famously shed the persona to become the leader of the Teen Titans. The Nightwing project joins an ever-growing list of DC films the studio is currently focusing on. Now, Nightwing is probably one of my favorite characters in the DC universe. And Chris Nolan hinted at Nightwing at the end of Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, when he went into the Batcave at the end and found it after Batman left him, passed on the mantle. But that's not the real story from the comics. But we know that in Batman v Superman, there was the Nightwing costume, but we think that was Jason Todd's Robin, not Dick Grayson's. And Nightwing will focus on Dick Grayson's Robin and then Batman, which means that we have to go back, and it's going to be an origin story. So we're going to have a lot of Batman in this movie as well, showing Nightwing's progression from Robin is my guess. But will we even have Ben Affleck as Batman by then? This is like going out to 2020 probably for a Nightwing movie. Misdirection, everybody. Warner Brothers is putting out all these stories to make us happy so that we won't focus on the crap that's been going on with The Flash and the Batman movie and what happened with Suicide Squad and the critically acclaimed Batman v Superman movie. And I'm done. Seriously. Wonder Woman better be great, and they better not screw this up anymore. They can't have any more bad news stories, is all I have to say. And throwing it out again, Warner Brothers throws out another piece of news this week. Wonder Woman news this week is centered around the villain for the first time, and we are now getting confirmed statements from Warner Brothers that Ares will be Wonder Woman's nemesis, played by David Thewlis, who is best known as Remus Lupin from the Harry Potter films. Now, I'm going to get off my Batman rant and off my Warner Brothers rant because I love this actor. And the fact that he's joining an incredible cast in Wonder Woman makes me very excited. I've said before, I'm resting all my hopes for DC and Warner Brothers on Wonder Woman. Everything that I have seen coming in the news for Wonder Woman has made me excited. The trailers look amazing, and June cannot come fast enough for me to see this movie. Am I 100% sure it'll be a great movie? No, I am not, because DC's track record ain't been the greatest. Am I hopeful? Absolutely. They have an incredible director for this movie. The first female director ever to direct a superhero movie, which, thank goodness, Warner Brothers finally got that right. But let's wait and see. That's all I can say. Let's wait and see. And now we're going to get into Star Wars news. And our first story in Star Wars news today is the first cast picture for Disney's upcoming standalone Han Solo film has been released, showing Alden Ehrenreich surrounded by his co-stars in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. Principal photography for the yet untitled film began yesterday at London's Pinewood studio, and this image offers an early glimpse into the space adventurer's co-stars. It shows 27-year-old Ehrenreich front and center, while Fleabag star Phoebe Waller-Bridge, whose role has not been announced yet, hovers over his right shoulder. To his left is Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. Donald Glover, writer and star of the hit FX show Atlanta, and his best-known role of Troy Barnes in Community is playing Lando Calrissian. Woody Harrelson, top left, is on board to play Garrus Shrike, a character first introduced in a 1977 Star Wars novel. In the book, Shrike finds the young orphan Han Solo living on the streets and abducts him, forcing the boy to join his gang. The film is being directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who are second from the right and bottom left, and has a release date of May 25th, 2018. You know what? This is phenomenal. This cast is phenomenal. I am very excited to see this Han Solo film. And I have to admit, I thought we don't need a Han Solo film. But the more they announce and the more they get into this movie, the more I want to see it. So, do I want to see it more than an Obi-Wan film? No, I do not. And there's a lot of rumors floating around out there right now that I've told you before. We are going to get an Obi-Wan film. We might even get the announcement at Star Wars Celebration in April. And I've told you before that the reason we haven't gotten that announcement is because I think Obi-Wan's going to be in The Last Jedi, Star Wars Episode 8, as a Force Ghost. And I'm not sure if Ewan will play him or voice him, or if they'll do CGI Alec Guinness. We don't know that yet. But somehow, some way, they're using the Obi-Wan character still. So we probably won't see any kind of a standalone Obi-Wan film until after Episode 8 and 9. That's my prediction. We'll find out at Celebration if they tell us anything about that. And our next story in Star Wars news is rumors be a swirling this week about the identity of Supreme Leader Snoke after the release of the novel Empire's End, which is the final in the trilogy of Aftermath, as well as who is Benicio del Toro playing in Episode 8, The Last Jedi. I want to address these rumors head on. I don't care who Snoke is. I don't want him to be anybody. I want a fresh new character. I don't want him to be a Sith. I want him to just be a dark side user who's amazingly powerful and maybe goes back in some of the new lore and new stories so that we can tell new stories for years and years to come about Snoke and where he came from. I don't want him to be Ezra. I don't want him to be anyone we've ever seen before. As far as Benicio del Toro goes, I sure think he looks a lot like an old Ezra Bridger, and that would be amazing. I know I said I don't like the tie-ins, but if we can get the end of Rebel season 3 out of the way, then we see Benicio del Toro later on. Probably not going to happen, but you never know. He could also be a Grand Admiral Thrawn. You never know. They're keeping his character very, very tight-lipped. They are not saying... Excuse me, they're not saying word one about who he's playing. There was a rumor going on where he said that he's a dark side user, but they asked him if he was a villain, and he said, no, not necessarily. But that could just be misdirection. So who knows what'll happen? Let's wait and see in episode 8. And our final story today in Star Wars news is Star Wars Celebrations released the official poster this week, and we now know that Star Wars fans read way too much into everything that Disney and Lucasfilm release. Well, if you look at this poster, it's obvious that Padme's coming back, Anakin's coming back, Obi-Wan's coming back. We're going to have everybody that we've ever seen in any of the Star Wars movies in episode 8 and flashbacks and flash forwards. No, it's just a great Star Wars poster. Sure, I've said before, I think Hayden Christensen's coming back as a Force Ghost for Episode 8. I don't think Natalie Portman as Padme is, though. I'd be almost willing to bet $1 million that she's not back, and I don't think that's what this poster means. I just think it's a great poster. You guys tell me in the comments section below what you think. Do you think this poster means anything? I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this week. My name is Mike. I'm the Sci-Fi Movie Guy. You can follow me on Twitter at MovieGuySci-Fi, or please send me an email and I'll answer any questions you send on air. MovieGuySci-Fi@gmail.com. And remember, everybody, nerds rule the world.